The Minnesota Vikings offense, the first year under Kevin O'Connell, took a quantum leap forward, was top 10 in most metrics, top 5 in some, and just optically, they were able to move the ball. Kirk Cousins had the best year of his career. Justin Jefferson led the league in receptions and yards. And what's amazing is that even though pressure still got to Kirk Cousins because the interior offensive line was porous, it was still an overall amazing season, even though they couldn't run the ball consistently. TJ Hawkinson came in and provided a spark as a secondary option, but I mean, the Vikings offense was good. And what happens is when teams win some games and are really good and strong on one particular side of the ball, teams that have openings are ready to poach. So a number of Vikings offensive assistants are getting some offensive coordinator interest and love. Defensive side of the ball, not so much. So we covered Wes Phillips last week. He turned down a chance to interview for the Chargers open OC job. Maybe he sees that Brandon Staley, even though they work together with the Rams, it's just like, bro, you're a lame duck, or they could still potentially get Sean Payton in there. So Wes moving back to LA, working with Justin Herbert, he's like, nah, he's out. Also, we covered last week the Patriots, who their offensive coordinator this year was Matt Patricia. Great. So they're interested in Keenan McCardell as their OC to interview there, although job's probably going to go back to Bill O'Brien. But recently, over the weekend, Jonathan Jones reporting the Chargers have requested permission to interview Vikings assistant quarterbacks coach Jerrod Johnson for their vacant offensive coordinator position, source says. So again, not even the quarterbacks coach, the assistant quarterback coach. That's how deep we run, man. That's right. And then Jeremy Fowler, Ravens, who just, Greg Roman, retired or whatever, consciously uncoupled, have requested permission to interview Vikings passing game coordinator Brian Angelichio for their offensive coordinator position. Per source, a veteran NFL coach helped Minnesota to a top 5 passing offense in 2022. So here's the list right now. So Wes Phillips said no to LA. Jerrod Johnson being sought after by the Chargers to interview. The Ravens looking at Brian Angelichio, as well as the Patriots looking at McCardell as of right now. Is that with Jerrod Johnson? So I don't think that he is going to get the job. I think that he's too relatively inexperienced, but I think that he does deserve some credit for Kirk Cousins developing this season and having his career year. Plus, it would be good experience just to interview, because I think Jerrod Johnson eventually is going to become an OC in this league, maybe even beyond. But former Texas A&M star quarterback, remember, he was the guy that they hired because of the connection with Kellen Mond. How would that one work out? He's been coaching in the league since 2017, was the Colts' offensive quality control over the last 2 years before joining the Vikings in 2022. Brian Angelichio has been a tight end coach in the league since 2012. First time he had an additional title was this year, where he also added passing game coordinator. This would be his first NFL offensive coordinator gig, but also what's important is, so he's got passing game coordinator in there, so of course that touches a little bit on Jefferson and KJ and Kirk, etc. Also being tight ends coach, getting Hawkinson up to speed right away, coming over from Detroit, and basically since the trade deadline being the second best tight end in the league behind Travis Kelce. Let's be honest here. And also the development of Johnny Munt was pretty nice. Plus, if the Ravens do still retain Lamar Jackson next year, that will be important, obviously. And plus, Mark Andrews and Isaiah Likely, two fantastic tight ends with the Ravens. And then you got McCardell, who needs no introduction. Absolute awesome receiver in the league for a number of years. Won 2 rings. Been coaching wide receivers since 2010. Started with Washington. Coached Diggs at Maryland in 2014. Was with Duval and the Jaguars for 5 seasons. And then the Vikings in 2021. And also, it's important to note that he is the only position coach that was held over from the Zimmer regime when Kevin O'Connell came in. So that just speaks highly of how respected McCardell is. Plus, did great work with Thielen and KJ and JJ, etc. So I do think that McCardell should be a very viable option and potentially should get that New England OC job. But again, selfishly, I would like to keep all these guys, and still there still is a chance that does happen. But it's awesome to see that you're having success and these guys are moving up in their profession, just hitting the next rung on the ladder, and just go from there, man. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings assistants in demand, being sought after for offensive coordinator opening interviews. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. We'll support the work. Put a little something in the Venmo, but till next time, Skull Production Value.